morning, everyone. Today what I'm going to talk about is an update on my aquarium converted into a terrarium. I have both of them side by side here on a bench. I had moved them from one of my shelving units. They were over there, but I have since put them down on this kind of a short bench near the ground. A little bit awkward for me. I don't know if I'm going to keep them there because it is a little bit hard to get to them. As far as bending over and destroying my back trying to bend over and look at them. But let me update you on the baby tears one. Now the baby tears, the Fittonia, and the False Aurelia, they are still growing nicely. The False Aurelia, too much. You can see how large that's getting. It's once again way over the top of the terrarium. Let me get down so you can see how high it is. Way over the top. So one of the things I'm going to do today is take that out and put it in its own planter. But the baby tears are coming up and engulfing the Fittonia. They just grow right up through it and around it and overwhelm it. I hope this is coming through. I hope that's coming through on the video. I wanted you to be able to see that. These here are tall plants, but they're just buried in the baby tears. But I'm going to have lots of baby tears to start out in the spring. And the Selaginella, the peacock moss fern that I put in this one, it's growing real well. You can see all the blues and purples of its color. Let me get a little closer and let it focus. It's growing real nicely. And I do have some parts that die on me, but then it seems to like spring up from the roots and grow again. Little of it getting kind of tall and branchy, climbing a little, but that is probably what makes it a nice basket plant. I don't know how well this is going to go against the glass. You can see my hand holding the camera. There it is. But the little valleys where the fern is growing, you can hardly see the roots in this one. I don't think that's going to show very well because there's too much of a reflection. Now over here in the baby tears, you can see those real well. Let me get a good angle. Yeah, now those are just snaking down through the soil. And that is some of the Fittonia and probably some of the Aurelia that I'm going to have to dig out. But it needs to be done. It's just getting too large. Way too large. So that's what I'll do. Pull that out and then let some of it be able to spread out, have more room, and grow a little more fully. But I really like the aquarium to plant things in. If you haven't done that, you're going to have to try, because I think Santa's going to bring me another one. I think Santa was shopping at IKEA and should be bringing me one Christmas morning. So I'm going to plant that up. I'd like to try it with some sand and gravel and some of my succulents. But let me just put this down and we'll get busy trying to do the transplant. Okay, now hopefully you're going to be able to see this okay. And I think the easiest thing for me to do would just be to kind of dig my hands down into there to find the roots and pull, because I think it's going to be very difficult to get this up out of there. Its roots are probably spread all over the underside. So I'm just going to give it a nice big tug. Fairly wet down in there. Ooh. I'm going to pull it from, oh yeah, it's got a lot of roots. I can feel it. My hand's right around the root ball. Looks like it'll disturb everything in here, but unfortunately, for this thing to survive, it's going to need its own area. Oh yeah, look at that. Let me try to shake off as much as I can and leave behind the rest of it. Oh, look at that. Let me see, is this is more roots and some of the baby tears. Look at that. I've got really 3 of the False Aurelia. I'm almost tempted to plant 3 different plants, but I don't really have anything prepped and ready. So I'm just going to put that down into this other little pot that I've got ready. Okay. Okay. Now, here is the pot that I'm going to try putting it in. It's going to be a little tight at first, but I may later decide to put it in a larger pot. Let me see how I can get everything in there. I need to read on these to see if they like to spread or they like to have root bound or whatever the case may be. But for right now, it's going into this pot. Now I'll just put a little on the top to make sure we're covering the roots. There. And it may take this one a little bit of babying to recover, but that's how she's gonna look. I picked this up for $2.99 at a thrift store. I like it. I think she's gonna do real well in it. She makes a nice little tree. So let me get her saucer. She has the matching saucer. And there will be. Let me clean her up and we'll put her over on a shelf. Okay, I've got her placed over here. She will be in one of these higher elevated lights, even though that's just still even a little bit too short for her. But at least that's going to give her more room than she was in the middle of the aquarium light. So we'll follow up on her and make sure of how she's doing later on. I think I'll give her a good misting, but let her sit for a few days in her new pot, and then we'll water her. But meanwhile, I've got a lot of destruction to clean up here, so let me get busy on that. Okay, now let's try to get some kind of order out of this end of the terrarium. I just have to place everything back down in there. I've got a lot of baby tears that are still trying to grow in that side. And then this Fittonia, I kind of dislodged it, but has been overwhelmed. So I think she's going to enjoy being in here and having the place all to herself now. So I've just got to clean out a few of those leaves and press everything back into place. And I'll have to take the rinse and re-rinse everything back in here. Now, as far as this Fittonia that's been engulfed down here, it's just going to have to stay engulfed because I can't rescue it all. So I think that looks pretty good. I don't see any dead leaves on her. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now let me give it a little bit of a rinse here, and then we'll see what we've got. So I keep crimping the hose here. There. I think she looks a lot better. Let me bring this up into here, so you can see where she's all cleaned off of that soil that was on her. And then we've kind of got some bare areas that I'm sure the baby tears will start to engulf again real quickly. But it looks good. I think everyone should be happy again, at least for a while. But thanks for joining me today, and thanks for watching the update on my aquarium terrarium.